أنا عبد الله صبري فيجوال ارتست وفوتوغرافر من اسكندرية. موت للقاهرة 2006 تقريبا. studied art. من early on ابتديت أصور فوتوغرافي. كان الأول كان نفسي أصور فيلم، وكان الموضوع لسه ahead of my يعني my age my experience. ف I started doing photography and it took me 1 year كده of doing photography and I got obsessed about it لغاية النهاردة. بقى دلوقتي أكتر من 18 سنة بصور non stop. ف originally برسم بس I decided also keeping my drawings for me. I will show you أكيد حاجات النهاردة. بس photography is the form and the medium for me that I like to share it with people ك experience تصوير كphotos after. معرفش، بحس ان photography it's a medium up to the viewer هو interpret it. زي ما كنت بقول لك كان نفسي اعمل فيلم الاول. بس I start doing the next thing that it's فيه control على ال environment, storytelling and narrative. But started doing photographs and was doing photography بعد سنة اكتشفت ان هو that there is like something very powerful in the still image. There is something that it just I don't know, it's up to the viewer, up to the subject. Photography can بالنسبة لي it's a very beautiful medium that you're using line to actually capture moments, which is something conceptually بالنسبة لي mind blowing. You know, end of the day, time is related by the speed of light. This is the top speed. This is like the fastest thing في حياتنا. You're working with actually the light photos, which is like determine the speed of like the time. So you're pretty much capturing time through actually a particle like photo. And it's the fastest thing can ever happen, and it carry light and heat and color. It's just like a كل حاجة matter في الدنيا معمولة. It's something, but light is completely something else. Even religiously was mentioned as something. There's big. For working with capturing something حاجة زي دي, it's definitely a responsibility. Definitely something profound. And to إن أنت capture a moments and reality of people, it's something that genuine. That took me to something else later in my career, the psychology and learning about psychology and how to actually really can read the room and actually how you can work with someone and make people open up. Between actually these two things, I got obsessed with photography, the stillness of it. اسكندريه الدور بتاعها it's funny enough ان اسكندريه الدور بتاعها يعني انا I left بعد ثانويه عامه. ف I left early شويه like يعني 16 I think. انا 16 17 كنت الجامعه. ف فاسكندريه كانت بالنسبه لي the childhood, the growing up, but I wasn't. Yeah, now I'm looking more like I'm 39 now in a few months. Now I'm going to اسكندريه ببص على اسكندريه ب different perspective غير اللي انا كنت عايش هناك. Definitely it helped creatively to actually expand. ان اسكندريه فيها حاجه، وبحس مش اسكندريه بس، يعني اي مدينه على بحر او على body of water, a huge lake, waterfall, ocean, اي حاجه. There is living next to a body of water, something it give you flexibility of way of thinking and problem solving and give you inspiration. It literally emotionally also it helps to be emotionally developed and intelligent. الناس كلها لما الدنيا بتقفل معاها بتطلع تقعد على البحر. And something happened when you go sit at the beach and then you come back, تحس ان هو there is something different about you. ففي حاجة like it wash you, it refresh you, the air is fresh. ف growing there, I never realized that when I was young, sorry. When I grow up, I noticed that growing around بحر, it made a huge difference in my creativity and the way of thinking. I think people mind take the shapes of the geography around them. فهتلاقي طبع الناس اللي عايشة في الصحراء في وسط جبال ليهم طبع معين، ليهم نشفان معين. صح. وهتلاقي الناس اللي عايشة على بحر ليهم طبع معين، وتلاقي في خفة دم معينة أو في نوع فاهمة اللايف أو تيمبو لاين. الناس اللي عايشة في أرض زراعية أو في فورست ليهم طبع. فالمخ بيتشكل على حسب الطبيعة اللي موجودة فيه. فديفنتلي اسكندرية made a huge part of what I do. I would give like, because my work is always about the unseen شوية. what's beyond what we see شوية. ففي حتة اللي هو the psychology or the spirituality or the something profound behind الفيل اللي احنا حطيته قدامنا. مش بحاول يبقى شغله ما يبقاش اللي هو متشاف بالعين. هو انت بتشوف كل يوم بعينك بس there is something behind, and that's what I'm trying to always capture with the photography او in my drawings. There is something layer ورا اللي احنا بنشوفه بعينينا, which is mixed with our how we feel and our expression and how we interpret life عامة. فبحس ان living around بحر, yeah, there is Carl Jung, psychoanalyst, one of the most important people that talked about subconscious. He said like لو الأرض هي الconscious بتاعنا فالمحيط هو subconscious, and fish is the thoughts that it runs through our subconscious. ف yeah, an ocean is a water عامة عاملة it's like it's easy to trigger your subconscious what you're not conscious about بيطلع على forefront. فميديا photography بالنسبة لي it was very حاجة اللي هو بالصدفة اتعرفت عليها. I never really seen قد ايه هو powerful medium.
I think that's what اصلا لغايه دلوقتي it's lasting as a form يعني of yeah, it was made for that اصلا. It's very interesting اصلا like the how the reaction بتاع native American about it. ان هو every time and actually مين اللي كان بيتكلم سوزان سونتاج ولا كان مين اللي بيتكلم بيرجر كان بيتكلم ان هو every time you take a photo of someone you take something from their soul. And they always see it like as like every time you capture someone in a photo as if you're taking something from their soul, like putting it, freeze it in time forever.
Creative Studios انا بعد 3 سنين بصراحه I always like working مع بني ادمين. يعني كنت شويه كان بالنسبه لي الشغل فلوسه ممتع قوي و fascinating, بس بعد 3 سنين it got repetitive, it got like I got used to it. ما بقاش فيه اي thrill, ما بقاش فيه challenge. So I went back to what I like to do, working with people. اللي هو يعني originally my favorite thing is like to discover and to try to understand the human psychology. And I found that actually the camera, it's a good tool to really capture that. And it's a very profound way of doing that with human. I went back to that and I would start like really, I opened Black Creative Studio and mainly I was known always for this black and white portraits that that has something about it that
it's your voice يعني black and white is your
بالظبط. It's my aesthetic. I have a specific lighting, I have a specific look and feel to the image that it became my signature because how much I've done it and how much it's always updating and how much it's always like different. ما اعرفش وصلت لحته معينه ان هو I got really good with the technicality so it doesn't get in the way between me and the subject. And it happens effortlessly and seamlessly من غير ما حد يحس ان هو اللون بيتغير, الكاميرا بيحصل فيها حاجه. Things are just happening while we're having a conversation عادي جدا. And somehow the main focus was like how to hold the space للشخص and how the person can open up. Because that's what you want to get after all. Yeah. I always say like portrait photography, it's 80% psychology, 20% photography. You don't have to be a really good photographer to have a good portrait. But you have to be really genuinely interested in the person to get something out of them. And people are smart by intuition. Yeah. الناس بتبقى حاسة لو انت فعلا genuinely مش عايز تعرف الشخص ده ومش already accepting that person as they are the people, they will feel it and they will never open up. And there is something about that you have to also share who you are and how you do things in life, so people feel like we are familiar with you and I start trusting you. And it doesn't happen without trust. It has to have like build this like kind of trust and not judgmental kind of space that it's very safe that I can open my heart out and show you who am I to be photographed. It's very intriguing and very interesting to actually capture the essence of someone. It's always something that I'm going guiding the person for influencing them towards something. That it not necessarily it's depth. It's also you putting an influence on that. And that's also like it's a very big question, an important question, like the integrity of the portrait. Is it 100% the person you're photographing, or you are influencing them to feel that? And it's always like this kind of room that like I try as much as possible to be as least as possible influential when I'm taking photo. Yeah, بحس ان هو I always my goal doing portraits as if is you're taking a photo of yourself as you're sitting with yourself, but with my skills. So what I do, my method or the way that I I studied a lot in psychology, so I can reach a place that I can read and match the frequency of the some like the person that I'm working with. And if I match the frequency, people feel familiar. And people feel familiar, you stop seeing you. Because you only notice the odd things in the room. You're not gonna notice, you're not seeing everything in the room now. If she's moving, you're seeing her moving, because anything else, if it stay matching to your frequency, you're not gonna notice it. Somehow you get like blackout. And that's how the conscious work. It goes to subconscious, and it's about how you feel now. It's not about how you actually conscious about. If my method is to match the frequency, and once you match the frequency, people like really start like really like putting their guard down, and you start actually seeing whatever it is. I don't care if it's sadness or happiness or anything. It doesn't really matter. It's like just any emotion that it is human. And whatever it's going through your life now, if it's tough, it's good, it's happy, it's a great time, are you thriving, were you struggling, it's a human experience. It's a human experience. يعني في كم حد اللي هو they're good friends that I shot them across many years, and it wasn't intentional. At every shoot like they are completely human, like completely different you, completely different, same face, same everything. And I'm not saying like they got older. Blacks, some of them look younger, like with time, and they was through something, and then there was someone, and they left this person, and now they are like doing that or traveling, or and you can see that in the picture, and you see that, and at some point, like people like they lose their parent, and they processing it. So for me, it's something once they stop thinking, you start processing while they're sitting in front of you, and there is like 43 muscle in the face that they determine. So you have hundreds of smile. There is not one smile. There is like hundreds of smile, hundreds of like expressions of anger, or frustration, or irritation. So, and that's like it's a beautiful like tells you how beautiful the body is, and how beautiful the mechanism of how we express our feeling. And that's what you capture. There is not way. If I kept like taking photographs of you, it looks like you're not moving, but it just your face is changing between every second and another, because you're still alive, forever moving, forever changing. So that's something that just will never get old for me. ما اعرفش، بحس ان هو انا وكل مره كل shoot حتى لو I'm doing the same lighting, same location, same everything, different people, it's different conversation, different feeling, different. I'm as if I'm living the day through someone else's shoes.
يعني in a nutshell كده human emotion.
The أول حاجة the least I'm influencing the person. بالعكس أنا اللي بدوس على الزرار. So في decisive moment of a photographer, but I'm not the one that it's actually making them feel anything. The second thing is, I think the most beautiful thing about someone is the more truthful they are. That there is like really it goes the opposite of the ugly truth. The access, and the most beautiful thing is the truth, the beauty of the truth. And it can be sad, it can be happy, it can be anything. It just like really show me who you actually really are. And I promise, as a photographer, in the other end, already showing you that whatever it is you think is not beautiful, I'm seeing it beautiful because it's part of who you are. And this kind of trust and this kind of bond, it's a bit also intimate. There is intimacy there, because you really opening up. There is some love happening in during the shoot, some kind of love, and a human to human love, and it's very beautiful. And you would never feel safe unless you are loved. If you're not loved, you're not gonna feel safe. Like if you walk into a place and there is not love there, there is something wrong gonna happen any minute. You know, you feel like, but if you walk in, and that's why, like, you go in a church, you can go in a mosque, or you go anywhere, regardless your belief system. But there is something getting poured in that place, and there is like prayers been said, and tears been shed, and laughs, and smiles, and forgiveness happen. That the place is holding that image, and you feel there, you feel like you're part of something collective. It's not just like the loneliness. I think it's yeah, it's some kind of language. I think it's very interesting. So the lower camera في الآخر captures light. What determine quality of the image is lighting. Yeah, quality الصورة هي lighting. مش موبايل، مش كاميرا كبيرة، مش أي حاجة. الحاجات دي بتديك resolution أعلى. بس quality of image is lighting because you capture only light. فبالنسبة لي this is your brush. This is what tells. This is what creates drama or creates like formality or creates any impression. For how you manipulate light, and again, like I was saying, lighting is this is the ceiling of time. Speed light. There is no bad speed of light. We're going back in time, apparently, theoretically, again. Up to Einstein again. For you capturing something that it's really not easy to capture, and to nonetheless to even manipulate that and to understand the nature of it, how to balance it, how to block it, how to diffuse it. This is like زي ما بتختاري like harsh brush or soft brush or like it's immediate that it becomes your brush, what you work with. It just like really how you want to express your photo and how you want to express yourself. And I like to go with less is more when it comes to light. You know, I teach lighting a lot. Very popular sits me. But it's something that I always say, like the less is more. There's always just one sun, and this is the best source of light. غير كده يعني لا, it's not as good quality, and more lights we have, the less authentic it gets, because it become more artificial. It looks more staged.
Very true.
Because the human nature من ساعة ما اتخلقنا احنا هي one source of light، يا اما شمس يا اما قمر. That's it. مفيش حاجة تانية. ف yeah, it's your brush, it's my brush.
وانت usually إذا كان fashion
There is a lot of tips and tricks to that. There is like something like the honesty is the strongest. An honest image and a truthful image في حقيقتها في اللحظة في البصة اللي موجودة في العين. like the اسمه ايه the guy that photographed the Afghani girl. مين في العالم مش عارف البصة دي ومش عارف العين دي, because it was a moment حقيقية جدا, and it's very simple. There is nothing photographically about this photo that is outstanding على فكرة خالص.
صح.
خالص الصورة عادية جدا, يعني بجد صورة عادية جدا 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 جدا. There's not even lighting much. It's like natural light in the refugee camp, and that's it. But the moment that the truth that the girl was speaking with her eyes, everybody على وش الأرض كلنا عارفين شكلها كويس وعارفين البصة دي كويس. There's something stuck to, and it's one of the most important pictures happened تقريبا in time. يعني دي وفي the picture of like برضو sad enough الصور اللي بتقعد معانا ونفتكرها. It's actually, now I'm thinking about it, it's mainly war photography. It's very interesting. I didn't think about that before, but it's mainly war photography, or for me at least. يعني بحاول افتكر صور فوتوغرافيا ده كل صورة اللي هو علقت معايا with
It's war.
it's a war photography. It's كاديلكا or معرفش مين, كلهم war photographers. But again, بس يعني there is a truth there. There's a human struggle حقيقية. There's like really suffering. يعني الصورة التانية بتقولك عليها اللي هي البنت اللي بتجري في حد بتاع فيتنام, and there is like 3 American soldiers and she's running. The picture of the guy that is standing in front of the Beba its own world photography. It's very interesting. Okay, never thought about that. This is something I need to think more about.
كذا صورة
It's very
very
yeah. كلها حاجات فيها conflict.
صح.
I think yeah, mainly the conflict. It's one of the main things. Well, I think we figured out about that. حقيقة الحقيقة
إن حاجة تبقى بيرفكت أو صورة تبقى
حقيقة it always لو هنتكلم عن حاجة really timeless يعني لو هنروح لحتة تانية شوية genre تانية لا you would look at Richard Avedon photographs the two shots with like مش فاكر كان اسمها ايه الactress with the two elephants she's wearing Dior it's one of the things that it's you have like دايما عندك اللي هو صور الحرب and you have like this conflict and the power of it there is something about like timeless beauty that it also stick with people when it's timeless and when it's you look at this picture ما تعرفيش هي متصورة 2026 ولا 1940 ولا okay but there is something about like also like when you abstract time out of our reference of time out of the picture and becomes timeless this is something that sticks you know كان بتبقى actually حلوة قوي ما ينفعش تتصور والله بجد هو I'm not romanticizing خالص في حاجات بتبقى حلوة قوي ما ينفعش تتصور really moments وجربي و actually next time when you have this like wow factor وطلعي الموبايل او طلعي كاميرا او طلعي اي حاجة try to capture this it doesn't happen في حاجات اللي هو الكاميرا مش هتقدر to capture it because I don't know how to describe it من غير ما اجوط قوي بس هو the risk احنا ما بنشوفش بعينينا كنا نشوف بمخنا ف if you have like a really good swim and you have like a beautiful juice and the wind is perfect and the temperature is amazing and you're sitting on the beach and you look with your eyes and you're gonna see like this seagull like gliding on top of the water and it's just like a moment الألوان في اللحظة دي مخك شايفها more vibrant more emphasized more everything لو طلعتي أي أحلى كاميرا في العالم صورتي اللقطة دي it's not gonna be the same because you're not seeing it with the eye you're seeing it with your impression about it and this has also happened like I don't know someone just had their kid no matter the picture is not how they are seeing their kid they just like newborn kid it's في جسمك احيانا بيعمل endorphins الجدس بتطلع بتفرز حاجات that it enhances your experience the level تاني and that's the moment that I always say like it cannot be photographed ان للاسف جربت كذا مره حتى لو الموبايل وشوف الموبايل سريع قد ايه ان انت like مسدس لو تشوف على طول هيطلع الموبايل اللحظه اللي بيطلع فيها الموبايل وبتيجي تصور it's gone عشان الموبايل او كاميرا interfered a certain kind of endorphins happening a certain experience ففي حاجات اللي هو لا I don't think it can be captured not because it's hard but I think because يعني مع كمين كاميرا لوسيدا I think there is a book it's called Camera Lucida the Parquet we'll get you the name actually it's one of the important books about photography and he talks about like how the existence of the camera alternate the reality of actually the واقع دلوقتي لو احنا قاعدين بنتكلم ومفيش موبايل بيسجل there is different than واحنا قاعدين بنتكلم and there is a phone is recording the presence of the phone it's already alternating reality بطريقة مختلفة but the same would go with the camera once there is a camera people are not the same people the photographer is not the same person as a viewer it's a different kind of viewer which is it's something that a camera we cannot forget that a camera got created to document الأول before it became an art or anything it was more truthful than painting and more accurate than painting and people start doing portraits that to I'm not saying that maybe but and then it became a form for art much later actually funny enough it's an opposite in a way but it's a genre of photography that I can create whatever reality I want بنصور على القمر. If I do the setup as like we're on the moon and everything is upside down and the model is flying in the air, in fashion nobody will say like that's weird. No. Like it make in fashion there is nothing being questioned. Like you can alternate reality. You can make a models like normal model size sitting in a mock-up house, and that's it. And it's very editorial. It's very avant-garde, you know. So fashion for me, it's the part that like more of me. I want to express whatever I want to express. It's like sketching. It's like what running ideas, you know. And also like it's I don't know. It's a fun community to work with. Not easy, but it's fun community. Characters يعني حتى يعني تسيبي من اللي قدام الكاميرا اللي ورا الكاميرا كاركترز اكتر من اللي قدام الكاميرا. يعني بيبقى اطيب حتى اون سيت الموديل اللي بتتصور الغلبان كل اللي ورا دول متوحشين. Which is I love it. It's very and you're really like working with like this like I wouldn't call them divas but like really people like the big characters, opinionated, been there, done that, have their struggles and they have expression of art in a way, like whether it's in makeup or styling or hair or you know fashion design or like there is a lot in art direction and set design. They're all artists, so it's the form for me to actually share my talent with other people. It's like me going to play with a tea. This is the only form of like this is the only sport of photography that you can play with a tea. With fashion I will prepare. I will prepare a mood board. I will prepare, and I have to also like, approve with the client and the team. Everyone has to know. I think in a fashion shoot, everyone coming to the day of the shoot has to know exactly what's happening. عشان to prepare. عشان لو فيها هنعمل حاجة في الشعر, but hairdresser has to prepare that. You cannot just on set say like, although with life and experience and work, do the preparation. But don't really have to stick to it once the shoot is happening. And I don't like when anyone check the mood board once we خلاص وصلنا ليوم التصوير ما بقاش عايز حد يبص على المود بورد ولا يوريني المود بورد ولا ريفرنس ان هو you're literally sabotaging the whole experience of the shoot. ده أول حاجة. تاني حاجة you are doubling down on copying and it's gonna kill the creativity of everyone. يعني رحت للميك اب قلت له عايز ميك اب زي ده او يجي كلاينت تقول لي انا عايز صوره زي دي اللي هو beep. we can add beep in this كل حاجه. ف it sabotage everything. I like the preparation before بس يوم الشوت بحس ان هو لا actually نام كل ونام من اليوم اللي قبلها اصحى take a shower get ready take your stuff and go to the shoot. Talk with people. Don't look at anything. Don't look at anything because your brain will already start like if you see something it's gonna stick to it. This is your reference point and you don't this is horrible. For portraits I always avoid sending reference because I really don't know what's gonna happen and it has to be that genuine. If I have a preconceived idea about ايه اللي بيحصل او الشخص ده انا هصوره ازاي او هطلع منه صور عامله ازاي, then I'm forcing my reality on that person and it's not honest in a way. فاهم قصدي؟ يعني there is a stage portrait, there is a fashion portrait like what if I'm doing for a celebrity مثلا. ف I know the celebrity has a certain image معينة. This is how I prepare for عشان this بس في كذا في مرات كتير قوي I left the house consciously not taking camera with me عشان عارف ان لو خدت كاميرا I will not. ولسه انا بالنسبه لي برضه it's been like 18 years of working professionally with photography and this is something عادي. طيب خلاص خلصنا الشيفت بقى بنشيك مين كنا بنعمل ايه. there is some بس هنا بقى طيب سيجار خلا تعالي هنا تعالي لا تعالي هنا فوق تضيع منك الانترفيو كله اصلا. Yeah, المشكلة برضو ان انا using the camera as a my work tool, it's something that is just like, it's a professional, yeah. I get in a certain professional mindset every time I بمسك camera. So when I'm traveling with my family, when I'm going somewhere that I want to enjoy myself, لا ما باخدش كاميرا معايا. ففي حاجات كتير قوي وانا مسافر مع اهلي ما بقاش عايز اخد الكاميرا، اللي هو once I take the camera في حته برضه I have a problem بس over practicing photography بقى. يعني I always say practice photography all the time, but over practicing photography, once you look through the viewfinder, there is a composition and lighting and what's front. Should I call the focal aperture كذا ولا shutter speed? Should I do this? Should I do that? And then you are like really like talking too much about like beautifying this moment, and then you are not really also looking at the moment. And there's something I always try to, حتى doing my shoots and my work, like let's not, I try to set up the camera in a way so I don't think about it much when I'm اخري اغير اللينس وانا بصور so I can stay present. بس لا my camera as something is I love always, like there's like how many cameras, وكل كاميرا see the world بطريقة مختلفة، بس it's something that I when I'm having something very personal I don't like to have around. Yeah.
مفهوم.
Yeah. So this is the
بس أنا
photography
عايزة
one. There is this is the painting. Actually, this is what I do actually on my spare time. Like I love
you're a
watercolor.
great برضه الدروينج. انت
Yeah.
الدروينج بالنسبة لك
Yeah, it's huge. It's here. It's my therapy. It's something that it's very personal. It's the way I actually express, like I would say, like a philosophical kind of conflicts or ideas in one. اللي هو في حاجات أحيانا that it cannot be expressed vocabulary أو verbal. في حاجات بتبقى it's more like energetically and spiritually in a way. بحس إن هو art painting is the form to actually talk about it without like really talking about it. You know what I mean? It's just like you get the feeling. But this one is that's a project. It's called Essence in Silver, and it was a photography project. Like did like a series of it, like not the last Cairo with Henri, the one before. And I used like fish and stainless steel only, and it discussed like actually violence and our relation with violence and death. And it was just like raising questions pretty much about like, do we all have violence in us? Do we actually all like kind of crave violence? That I mean, القاهرة. It discussed, it raised the questions like, do we all have violence in us? And do we all like kind of also crave violence?
Yeah, and there is a beauty in ugliness. If I want to sum up my work, I love to capture the beauty in ugliness.
The idea of the exhibition بتاع Essence in Silver كانت إن هو to raise the questions around like violence and death. Do we all have violence in us? Do we all have craving actually for violence? Why we watch action movies? Why there was like Colosseum at the Romans? Why there is boxing أصلا؟ ليه الفيديو جيمز فيها there is something that we like to watch violence somehow, and we have to witness it or practice it in a way. Although civilizations tell us like we have to condemn violence, it's something uncivilized. So you have the system that made that say like we have to condemn this, violence is terrible, but also you have a human nature deep in the human nature that it's capable of violence. لو حد انا لو حد جه مش هقول لك عليا، لو حد جه is a loser I will be violent, like more than I can actually even comprehend. There is something that people are capable to do that they don't even know they can capable to do, because violence, once it's violence triggered, you are completely different human being. True. And anyone can do that. I'm not saying there is no one that cannot. Even Tibetan monks, they said for like all their lifetime trying to control that nature in them and not let it happen, you know. So it's an admission that everyone has it. So I was doing that or expressing about like actually the whole exhibition, it's like working with fish that it's dead fish already, and it's been cut, and you have the intestines, and it's not a pretty thing, but it's composed in a way that it's very surgical and medical and like very cold in a way. There is no emotion to it, and that may kind of trigger the curiosity at the viewer to actually really look at it. But they know this fish has been cut, and it's not a beautiful thing to look at, but it's somehow intriguing, and that's what I wanted, like, to test how people will react to violence. And given that I'm using fish, and fish, it's one of the least creatures we sympathize with. So I'm not. We call them cold blood. We don't believe they process emotions like us. It's so doing this project, like, also like, because it's a still life, so I had to stay at the studio for like months and months just working on that. And you get to talk to yourself and think a lot, and it's something very interesting that the process is like, why you don't feel bad for fish? Like, why are we like, ليه ممكن ما اقدرش اشوف بقرة بتتذبح من ساعتها لو سمكة بتتقطع قدامي سوشي تبك.
صحيح.
It's fine. I will eat it raw.
Very interesting. يعني عمري ما
مفيش-
فكرت فيها.
I don't have that problem. ليه اصلا اكتر حاجتين بنتأثر ليهم بعايشين في المية، الحيتان والدولفينز، وهم اصلا mammals. هم ثدييات، هم مش سمك.
اي I
So
know.
we only sympathize with the mammals in the water, and the rest of the water is fine. Even turtle are not, we sympathize, but they are not mammal, but they are not also fish. بس fish عادي جدا، عادي جدا بيتقطع ويذبح وبيجابل بنت بشبكة بقى، يعني اللي هو بناخد بقى سكول اوف فيش مرة واحدة، مش اللي هو بناخد واحد سكول اوف فيش.
ما
اللي
بحسش
بيحصل
بحاجه خالص.
اللي بيحصل في التونة، اللي بيحصل في السلمون، اللي بيحصل في كل الحاجات، اللي بيحصل في شاركس اصلا، هو بيعمل شاركس يقطعوا ال thing and they throw it back, they can fins ويرموهم تاني، ما بيعرفوش يعوموا. There is something that we don't synthesize with fish, and that's why I choose fish like to work with, as to do something it's a bit violent. So this is the least synthesized. Like, imagine like this work is done with animal. It's gonna be a shock. It's not gonna be well received. انا كنت حاطط ايدي على قلبي actually
لا
while exhibiting,
خالص.
because السمك متقطع والناس داخله تشوف حاجه اللي هو it's really متقطعه بعد ما ماتت. It's not. I was like, I don't know how that would people react, because people, especially like nowadays, people are really extra sensitive and aware about their emotions, they can backfire. But it's somehow it was very interesting, like across different generation, different age groups, that they just like really open the conversation. Hey, it's very interesting that way. And I use stainless steel with that. Like, it's stainless steel is something that it's very the opposite of the fish ba'ata, yani. It's something it's never found in nature. You would never find stainless steel in nature. Stainless steel is a man-made 100%. It's a mix of different metals, that it's stronger than metal itself, and use it to cut metal. It's the symbol of actually urban life and humanity, like civilization, capitalism, and all of that. لا, it really, يعني I will show you the rest of the photos, because it gets
anatomy
it
كتير
gets
قوي.
halfway the exhibition when people start like ابتدوا يعملوا كده. there is an intense shots, and وللأسف الناس كانت في الأول كانت فاكرين إن هو it's a drawings or psychograph. didn't even notice it's a photograph till يعني شوية دخلوا في المعرض. لما بيخشوا المعرض، في ناس بتخش من نص المعرض ويتلكوا ترجع، وفي ناس بتخش وتخلص وتقعد تدور عليا بقى، تعال عايز أعرف عايز أتكلم. وفي ناس اللي هو they really enjoy it, and they really like find it's very refreshing, funny enough, to actually exhibit photography in that sense, because lately photography that been exhibited kind of Masr, whether it's documentary or landscapes or something that it's فاهمة common شوية, it's been a while you didn't see still life ومش still life بطريقة جميلة, not the beautiful still life, the rose, the flower. لا you are seeing still life of fish that is يعني يتقطع that way. But yeah, I think it did what I wanted from it. صراحة إن هو it triggered a lot of questions and people to talk. Yeah. Let's not forget fish أصلا is a big symbol in a lot of belief systems. Yeah.
كله في كل الكالتشرز
بالظبط fish is always a motiva.
والديانات.
طول عمرها موتيفا وطول عمرها it's an icon in the Christ symbol is fish في المسيحية.
صح.
It's a fish. And it's
موجودة
very بالظبط it's very symbolically powerful symbol يعني. I think it just like hit people in a way that made them think spiritually and emotionally, and it triggered the curiosity to reality. It's a bit to shed the light on our dark nature in a way, which is I really like. Yeah, I like to actually explore and shed lights on some things that we don't think it's good in us. There is a beauty in ugliness. I like to work with that always. Like I like to shed light on that ugliness to show how beautiful ugliness is. Makes sense. I don't know. Like this is very interesting phase in my life, and I ابتديت already أصور, and I was doing good. وابتديت I get like actually gigs, and I start doing like magazine covers, and I start like doing billboards في الشارع. كنت لسه في جامعة الكلام ده قبل الثورة. I was like whoa okay. وكان الماركت لسه ما فيهوش فوتوجرافرز كتير, وما كانش فيه دايفرستي قبل الثورة دي خالص. فكان في اللي هو في فريش بلاد ان ذا ماركت, جيبوه يشتغل, جيبوه يصور فيها في عينين جديدة في السوق. ف it was really the opportunity لذيذة. وبعدين طبعا ثورة حصلت, and أي حاجة I would say أي حاجة luxurious, أي حاجة not essential got stopped. ما فيش في كرفيو, البلد ما كانتش تضمن ايه اللي بيحصل. ف I stopped working ما كانش في شغل. طب of course magazine fashion photographer بتاع ايه في الثورة, ما فيش الكلام ده. بياكل همنا خالص. يعني ف I was lucky that I had a friend that was working مع American Research Center في الأقصر. And كان عندهم photographer, Canadian photographer, and he was supposed to fall asleep end of his contract. They reached out to me apparently, do you mind لو جيت تعمل documentary photography for the American Research Center الأقصر. فقلت لهم of course why not. قالوا لي تعالى 3 شهور. رحت ب3 شهور. الشغل it was amazing because you get to work في temples and tombs, لسه حاجات اللي هي الناس ما بتخشهاش ولا بتشوفها. It's completely like new. أي حد. It was a privilege to actually do that. ال3 شهور مدوا ال10 شهور extension. ال10 شهور بعد ما خلصوا مدوا السنتين extension, and I stayed there for 3 years. What it did this on my career, because it's not the documentary that it's the fun documentary, it's the academic documentary. Because the American Research Center هو database and library for anyone that doing master or PhD about Egyptology or archaeology, that he can tap in and get the exact wall in Khonsu temple Goa Karnak. Which wall, which plate, which anything about it. You can just tap this and you will get the picture and the condition maps of it. It wasn't, and that was my work, to actually document humongous walls and temples, like حاجة اللي هو 40 متر في 10. We had to build scaffolding وسقالات اللي هو 4 أدوار سقالات و 5 أدوار سقالات, وتطلع تتشعلق بالكاميرا واللينس, and you have to be very precise and accurate level in هو if you missed a small detail you're missing something in the history. لا, in the history. It's not like a recent history, in the history of who we are أصلا يعني, what we're proud of. ففي responsibility كبيرة, و every color, every material, everything that it's make huge difference. It was very fascinating طبعا working closely with the ancient Egyptian artifacts at temples and tombs like this. because you get to really experience something that you never seen in your life, especially مش يعني لما بتروح معبد بتتمشى وبتبص على حاجات وانت بتعدي عليها يعني walking looking it's impressive. بس لما بتبقى عندك حيطة 3 أسابيع بتصور فيها كل يوم you get to really look at it. لا, there is a different attention to details and بماتيريال مش سهلة خالص, صعبة جدا. And every day we are just like working is like how they built this. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense ان عمود بيبقى طوله 10 متر عرضه معرفش قد ايه جاي بصخر معرفش جاي من حتة تانية ومحطوط دوت ومحفور عليه ومتلون و like symmetrical the level يعني. I remember one time for one of the tombs I was doing actually documentation للبتاع I had this laser level اللي هو بيعمل جراد وحطيته على اول literally على سنتر الباب بتاع التوم and I opened the grad and the 2 pillars and everything inside the tool ده محفور جوه جبل by the way بالايد مفروض. Everything is all the lines with laser grad and that was for me is like okay there are ناس تانية there are ناس تانية there is definitely technology تانية غير اللي احنا بنتعامل بيها and definitely like belief system قوي قوي اللي يخليهم يقعدوا يعملوا ده بياخد سنين. مش it's not like something that a project بيخلص فاهمة. It's not a compound. This is like something that will live for like thousands of years unbattled by anything. What actually working for 3 years there, that it added to the craft and added to the skills that how I can actually get like something accurately as is في الحياة. ان طبعا الكاميرا it's a render tool برضه يعني الكاميرا بترندر اللايت والنور وكل حاجة it give like a different perspective to photography and to how to be accurate, how to render life as accurate as real as it is without you having to interfere or to influence اللي انت بتصور. And that took me the next like later on when Black Caves still happened. I applied the same but with people.
والشغل اللي عملته هناك
documented على الداتابيز. الداتابيز بتاعت American Research Center. You go يعني you go to there. It's a research like PhD level of research kind of stuff about archaeology or Egyptology. And it's been for years يعني الحاجات دي it's the French mission, the American mission, Russian, Italian, Japanese. الحاجات دي في الأقصر من زمان يعني دمهم من الفرنش mission. And يعني they've been documenting ان الأقصر بجد طول ما احنا هناك كل يوم بيطلع حاجة جديدة كل يوم بيطلع حاجة لا it's يعني it's a bit like crazy. كل يوم في حاجات جديدة بيكتشفوها لغاية النهاردة. فايتس يعني كل الميشنز دي شغالة non stop and you cannot keep up. لا it's completely different feel and different يعني you get why actually it was the capital. ليه طيبة كان طيبة وليه البر الشرقي والبر الغربي وكل الحاجات دي and you get to learn like closely. There is a huge philosophy that not just like the king believes and the monks لا هم حتى الشعب yeah the whole country have a strong one belief system that it just everyone is working for it طول الوقت for thousands of years. احنا our modern time احنا سنة 2000 وحاجة هي. الناس دول قعدوا كام ألف سنة شغالين non stop you know.
I think truth is always forever developing and changing, and we cannot really know it because it's forever changing. But I think the best advice is like, if you say the truth and you do the truth, you can become the truth. You will never understand it, but you can become it. You can be truthful. Yeah, yeah. I love success in career. I do enjoy it, but I don't calculate it as it's my successes in life. بحس ان هو everyone gets بجد زي ما كان ما اعرفش كان مين بيقول، بس هو كل واحد بياخد حق 24 قيراط. هتوزعهم ازاي؟ هتاخدهم كلهم. ف success can be my family and our relationship. Success can be my friends. Success and really, really, when it gets really hard, you understand what does that mean, families and friends, and that there are people like really can be there for you, and you can. That's much success, and how much you invested time and effort in that. غير الرسم funny funny enough funny enough I choose hobbies to get paid for, by the way. I love this. I always say, like, I get paid for playing. I love القاهرة. I love my version of القاهرة, to be more specific. يعني عندي version للقاهرة بحبه، بس القاهرة عامة صعبة. It's a monster. But I have a version of Cairo اللي هو that's my life, that's what I do, this is where I eat, this is where I get coffee, this my friends, this is what I'm visiting, this is the time I drive it. يعني ليه alternative reality للقاهرة كده that I love it so much. بس هي مش حقيقية بتاعتي بس. بحب الصحراء الغربية قوي عامة، فيوم وطالع. There is something very special. My favorite, like, to be honest, favorite place on earth يعني so far, and this is where I'm like, really, that's me in the purest form, St. Catherine. Yeah, this is a holy land. This is not normal land. This is something there. يعني it's a biblical. يعني تحس ان هي كل كون، كل شجره بقى لها الاف السنين، وحاجه that's just في خير و abundance وطيبه وفي رحمه وفي صبر وفي تحس ان هو بجد you really can almost hear God speaking. دي بقى انا محتار فيها بنفسي. انا لغايه دلوقتي يعني انا دلوقتي الفتره دي بصحى الساعه 6 وبنام الساعه 10 ونص.
الفترة دي بس.
وممكن تقعد عادي، بس اللي قبلها انا بخش انام الساعه 6 وبصحى الساعه 2 من الظهر. عذراء. 9 اه. لا انت ولا ده ولا انتويشن، جات فيلينج، فوق تحت القلب فوق المعده. لا، في اكتر فيلم بقى I got impressed by this، ما اقدرش اتفرج عليه غير يعني شفته مرتين وما اقدرش اكتر من كده. Enter the Void، جاسبر نوي، بس ما اقدرش اتفرج عليه تاني. I can do it with silence. I like doing it with silence. بس if I'm editing مثلا for work، لا I would put music.
Photography, there is not enough photography happening في مصر للأسف. It's becoming like we just like going for documentary. Even the grants حتى اللي بتتحط، even the حاجات كلها it's mainly for a documentary. And
يعني انا اللي عاجبني في الاكزيبيشن بتاعك اللي فات الكونسبشن،
yeah,
يعني conceptual exhibition للفوتوغرافي. I think يعني دي
Yeah.
حاجة
I think it's like if I'm gonna talk about photography, I think it's مش lacking. I would love to see more about the artist's inner struggle than to see the society and like the struggle of the people. فاهم قصدي؟ less about the people outside المجتمعات اللي بتعاني من فقر او اي حاجه وحشه. But I want to see like actually more uh, how the artists actually really struggle with like basic nature kind of problems, and how artists surrender, because it's something that will help us as mujtama to actually upgrade and to actually be cultured. Not to say I love the work of like actually talking about the society, but it's just like we all drive around Cairo and outside of Cairo, and we see this, and it kind of hurts you seeing people struggling. It does make it again like فاكر لما كنا بنتكلم عن موضوع war photographs. It does make an impression. it does make an impression, but it's not like the news, but it somehow it hurts me, and I cannot do anything about it. يعني مش اللي هي حاجة وحشة، بالعكس يعني it's a good thing. But I really want to see more human struggle than society struggle. And let's get deeper a bit, and let's get to actual human being. Yeah. Uh, as an art scene I think محتاج الموضوع ده يتشاف شوية أكتر يعني إن أنت بس artist عمره ما يعني للأسف especially full time artists they still yes they do what they want but they still think about what people want to see للأسف يعني.
طبعا.
يعني unless يعني when I exhibit because I want to exhibit but I care about my photography in the market and I will be precise. So when I exhibit, I don't really think what people will think. I don't really think because that's not my full-time thing. My full-time is something else. So I think full-time visual artists and artists عامة محتاجين a bit like from the galleries and from foundations and stuff to actually guide them to actually really experiment with that form. Not to ان في الاخر الجرانت هو اللي بيقول على عيني. And the more grants that they're looking for exotic tribes in Africa, the more photographers will be doing that and getting the money because they are full-time photographers and talking about like human rights and all of that. I love it. But we've been doing it since like the early 2000s خلاص. يعني I don't know. بحس ان هو لا يعني I want to see the artist identity, human identity, not the geographical identity. Not يعني I want to see photos from photographers in Europe and Africa and Asia and whatever, and you cannot really tell where they are from. They are real humans. بجد بني آدمين. مش لازم I don't have to bring in my culture as a forefront خالص. I can just like really speak about like who I am as a human اللي في أمريكا يفهمها واللي في فرنسا واللي في أفريقيا واللي في آسيا يفهم. I think that's what we need. We need artists to be more caring about themselves than what's surrounding them.